So to summarize again, inshallah, we will be accompanied by scholars and we will be able to go over most of these masails again in Medina, and when we go for Hajj, we'll have enough time in Makkah to go over again the masails and the spiritual aspects. So again, nothing to worry about, yeah? So what I'm going to do next is go over some of the logistics in terms of what you need to carry, what will happen when we are there, etc. Right? So this slide was up before or on the screen in terms of the questions. Okay, so first question people ask is packing list, right? So you have received by now the packing list of items which you need to have with you, right? How many of you have seen the packing list by show of hands? Alhamdulillah, okay, that's very good. That means you have read the packing list, and one of the main things we want to cover today is Saudi Arabia has changed from 40 years ago. So if you are in a social gathering and you're talking to people who have gone to Hajj 40 years ago or 20 years ago and they're asking you to carry things, then you need to say that, okay, we have received the packing list from the group and lots of items are available in Saudi Arabia, right? Most of you have traveled for vacation or Umrah, etc. So you have seen. So try to minimize what you take, and you can also share between friends and family members, spouses, etc. Okay? Pack wisely because you will need some room for shopping. So if you pack up your bag, 2 bags full of things from here, then chances of bringing something back from Makkah will be a difficult thing for you. Phones. So most of us carry iPhones or Android phones, right? If it's an unlocked phone, you can buy a SIM card in Saudi, and then you can communicate with your family and friends, etc. If you want to just keep it locked, then you can also buy a phone in Saudi Arabia, and then you can get the data plan as well as other facilities to communicate, right? So alhamdulillah, the internet services have continuously been improving. Normally the internet is available in the lobby, right? So when you come from the haram, you can communicate with your family, friends, Skype. People do Skype, sometimes calls with their children. And then when you go up on the floors, the internet kind of becomes weak. But this year in Medina, we have moved hotels. So we were in the past at Golden Mubarak, which was a 3-star hotel. This year we are at Movenpick, so it's a 4-star hotel. So hopefully the facilities are better, yeah? Okay, so this, Mominin, is not an Air Canada vacation trip, okay? Most of us have gone on vacations, all-inclusive packages, etc., right? So the most important thing which you need to pack is forbearance, tolerance, patience, sharing and caring, being positive, and forgiveness, yeah? Remember, we plan things and Allah is the best of the planners. We are at the mercy of logistics and the ground personnel. So we have purchased airline tickets. If there is some delay in flights, that's beyond the control of this group. Similarly, once you arrive in Jeddah, right? This year we are going into Jeddah, and then we'll have to go from Jeddah to Medina. So we have made arrangements, let's say, for the buses, right? Alhamdulillah, we pray everything will go well, but there is a chance of delay because of the logistics on the ground. Similarly, when we are moving from Medina to Makkah, we have set timings which we want you to be ready, but again, depending on the logistics on the ground, we all have to be patient. Remember, this is a spiritual trip, right? So keep that in mind. So if your expectations are low, and then you get a better service and everything is working out, then you're going to be more happy. The more happy you are, the more engaged you will be, right? Even when you go to the haram, etc. Okay? All right, so the questions we normally get is, when I'm going to the haram in Medina, what do I need to take with me, right? So you have, some people use their tablet, iPad, phones, dua book. Okay, so you need to make sure that you are carrying something with you, because generally we go to the haram way ahead of the time. So if you take an example, let's say the morning prayer is around 4:40, for example. We will start leaving the hotel around 3 o'clock or 3:15, depending, because in order to get a nice, good spot and to recite Namaz al-Shab or Salatul Layl, you need to be going around 30, 40, 50 minutes ahead. So once you go and you finish your Namaz al-Shab, if you have something with you, then you can do lots of du'as and amals, etc., right? So everyone will be provided with a bag like this, which we were referring to. So on the bag, we have this, right, straw mat. So you can use that as your sajdagah. So you don't have to be officially in Medina, right? In all these people, we don't want you to now take out your sajdagah and be the odd man out and put your sajdagah, because they are monitoring you. Wherever we go, they are monitoring how we are praying. So there's no point in raising a commotion in front of people. So use this prayer mat. You can carry this bag. It can fit your iPad, dua books, etc. Okay? Now the group is also providing you with this traveling musalla. You can use this while traveling. You may be going via Frankfurt from Canada. It may be Emirates via for the group coming from the US. So this is the prayer mode. You can go to any prayer lounge, use this mat, right? And you can use this. Now in Medina, as Akil Bhai mentioned, there's quite a bit of area which is marble where you can use and the area to pray. But if you get a spot on the carpet, then you need this with you all the time. Carpets sometimes are comfortable if you have knee problems, etc. And remember, I mentioned you are sitting in the haram for minimum an hour. So if you want to go and comfortably sit on a carpet, then use this musalla so you can do your search, right? So this is something, it should be in your bag all the time. Even when you go for outside ziyarat, like in Masjid Qiblatain, for example, it's all carpeted. So you need this to pray the 2 rakat namaz. All good so far? Yeah? Okay. So when you go to haram, make sure you have done your wudu. You have gone to the washroom. You have done your wudu, right? And you also have a small water bottle with you, because you can't use Zamzam water when you are in haram in Medina to do your wudu. Technically, it's not allowed. That's drinking water. So if your wudu breaks and you're in the middle of the crowd, you don't need to come out all the way. You can use your water bottle to do the shortest wudu possible. Make sure it's technically valid, okay? And then also the group will provide you a shoe bag, okay? So normally when we go to the masajid, we park our shoes outside the way we came here. In Medina and Makkah, you carry the shoes with you. They will stay right here where you are praying. There may be some small stands to keep your shoes inside the haram. You can keep it there. Otherwise, the shoes stay with you. Okay? All right, so departures. Inayat Bhai will cover this. The Canadian group is going via Lufthansa to Frankfurt, and then Frankfurt to Jeddah. Then in Jeddah, we'll have some formalities which we will complete, and then we will then proceed to Medina. So remember, this is normal for every international flight. You need to arrive 4 hours before. Make sure you are resting in the plane. Now your mindset has to change from your home place to the spiritual place you're going to visit, right? So you need to prepare yourself mentally in terms of where you are going, okay? Utilize your time effectively on the plane. If you can't sleep, you can browse through the materials. You can download these slides, right? And make sure that you are, taking advantage of that time. As Akil Bhai mentioned, pray salat on time. You need to now gear yourself, right? That this is a spiritual trip, and there are certain things all of us need to do on time, okay? So when you are in Jeddah and throughout this trip, you need to focus, okay, where you are, for example. Where are you heading? So we're going to the city of the Prophet. It's called Madinatul Munawwara, right? I'll forward the slides to you, but I just want to cover 2 or 3 points which are important, because once you are in Medina, right, we are asked, for example, not to pray through the Prophet. There's an ayat in the Quran saying the Prophet is one of the merciful prophets. He was sent as a mercy to the Ummah, and through him we can get forgiveness. There's an ayat of the Quran which supports that, because they will say, you go to Jannatul Baqi and there's a big board there, right, saying that you can't ask, for your hajjats through people who have passed away. There's an ayat in the Quran which says that, all our imams are allowed because they went through the shahadat, right? So we need to realize where we are. We have all been to ziyarats, inshallah, right, in Iraq, in Iran, etc. But in Medina Mu'mineen, there are 6 out of 14 Masumins within just a couple of meters away. You go to Samara, there are 2 Imams. You go to Kadmain, there are 2 Imams, right? Karbala 1, Najaf 1, Mashhad 1. But in Medina, we have 6 Masumins within the vicinity of just a handful of meters, right? So even when you get tired of reciting your du'as, you can have one-to-one conversation with Bibi Fatima, for example, the Prophet. Remember, they are alive, they are hearing, they are answering our salams. It's a very, very powerful and energetic place there, right? So take advantage of that. Okay, so once we arrive, let's say, alhamdulillah, in Movenpick, right? We will make arrangements with respect to the room allocations. If possible, we'll post the room allocations on the wall so you can easily see your rooms, depending, because this is the first time we are moving, like going to Movenpick. We'll see what the logistics allow us. In terms of room allocations, Inayat Bhai will cover. You can send us an email in Canada to Sabira Bhai, in the US to Shakil, and in the UK to Mustafa Bhai. And to the extent possible, they'll make sure that you get allocated to the room where you have family and friends, inshallah. There's normally 4 to a room in Medina. In Makkah, we have 3, 4, I think, right? Inayat Bhai? 3 and 4, yeah? All right, so then the idea is that once you are in the Movenpick hotel, once your room is allocated, right, you go to your room. The lobby, imagine, will be full of suitcases, like 100 people coming at the same time. So be patient. Slowly, you can take your luggage to your rooms, refresh yourself. Now, depending on the time we arrive in Medina, you have to now do your ghusl, get ready to go to the haram. Depending on the timing, there may be a wajib salat happening, or it's between. So get ready. For the first timers, there will be a group organized to take you so we can go through the rituals. Remember, this is not a place you just enter without permission. We need to recite Izne Dukhul, do the appropriate, Izne Dukhul, and then appropriate, du'as to answer. We have some books to guide you as well. For the people who have been to Umrah before, they are familiar with the logistics, they can proceed and go to the haram, do the ziyarat prayer, the salat, etc. Okay? Okay, so we went through this just in terms of what we need to take. So as I mentioned, you need to in wudu, carry water bottle, have a small bag to carry your shoes, which will be provided by the groups. Cameras. So generally people go with the iPhones, they can take pictures with the iPhone. If you are carrying a big camera, they may disallow it, especially in the ladies where they are checking their purses, right? So as long as you have your iPad and cell phone, we haven't seen any issues, okay? There are timings for the ladies to go near the Zari of the Prophet. So based on the logistics on the ground, we will announce the timings of when that will be done, and they can normally go in the group, inshallah, okay? All right, okay. So Masjid al-Nabi is a very beautiful mosque with lots of history, right? So we will organize some tours as well for inside the mosque as well as outside, inshallah. So make sure you refer to your ziyarat book, which will be provided by the group. So there is a map of the Zari of the Prophet, the Riyadul Jannah, the pillars, the mimbar, right, etc. So please be familiarize yourself, so then when we are going in the tour, it will make your life much easier. Inside the haram, it's very busy, so sometimes we can't keep a big group together. But if you have done a little bit of your homework through reading and talking to your family and friends, it will make your life very easy, yeah? All right, okay, let's see here. So how will be your day in Medina? So remember, we are all not working, correct? Yes? So we all have to wake up early in the morning, right, to be ready to go to the haram and recite namaz al-shab. And the idea there is all of us have a challenge, but once you recite there for, let's say, approximately 10 to 15 days, you can hopefully come and continue the practice here back home, right? So we normally wake up early in the morning, right, go for the prayers, we do Salatul Layl, then do the namaz al-fajr there. Then generally for men, we normally go to Jannatul Baqi. This is the time they open Jannatul Baqi, so men can go inside. Ladies, unfortunately, cannot go inside, so they recite the ziyarat from outside, okay? So once we have finished the ziyarat of the Baqi, then you can come back, you will have breakfast, and then you can rest. Now, in the past, we used to be at Golden Mubarak, and we used to provide 3 meals in Medina. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In Movenpick, the package is breakfast and dinner. And generally, if you have a good breakfast, you can eat a light snack on your own during lunchtime, or you can walk around. There are lots of good eating places. And some of the feedback was that if you only give us 2 meals, then we can go out and venture out and try some different dishes and burgers and all that. So, alhamdulillah, that wish has come true for this year's Hajj, inshallah, right? And then, inshallah, we'll have dinner. And then we can take it fast. So again, Medina is very easy like any normal ziyarat place. There's no certain rituals you need to do in Medina at a given time. Of course, you have to recite all the wajib salats, and preferably the salat should be in the haram. I know it's going to be hot, but hopefully the walk to the haram is not maybe 7-10 minutes. So if you hydrate yourself, and in the haram it's AC. So try as much as possible to do all your namaz in the haram, inshallah, okay? Then, inshallah, we are planning to have minimum one, maybe 2 lectures in Medina, depending on the availability of the halls. In the past, we used to have our own halls, so we could do anything, any point in time. Here, we'll have to work with the logistics on the ground, with the hotel management to see when we can get the halls. So minimum, we definitely have 1 lecture in the evening, when after dinner. But if we get the opportunity to do another lecture in the afternoon, then we will make arrangements to do that, okay? And Sheikh Abbas Jafar, who is accompanying the group from the UK, he has an amazing presentation of the haram and the baqi, both from historical and current perspective. So inshallah, we'll be showing and going through that while we are in Medina, okay? Jannatul Baqi, as all of us know, we have 4 imams there, right? So amazing place. Inshallah, we will all go for ziyarat. The ladies have to do it from outside. So we also do a tour of Baqi in the morning after Fajr with a guided person who is familiar with the grave there. And inshallah, we will visit that as well, yeah? Okay, so we also have outside ziyarat in Medina. So we will visit, for example, the plains of Uhud. Everybody is familiar with the history. So we will go there. Then we will also go to Masjid Qiblatain. This is where the Qibla, Prophet got the revelation to change from Masjid al-Aqsa to the Kaaba. Then we will go to Masjid Quba and Sabah Masajid area. On Thursday night, we will also visit a Shia mosque, Sheikh Al-Amri Mosque. We recite Dua Kumail there, inshallah. And normally we used to have the Dua Kumail in the Sahan between the Prophet Zari and Jannatul Baqi in the olden days. And our brothers from Iran used to have a very nice gathering there with very good reciters. But now we have it in Sheikh Al-Amri Mosque, inshallah. Yeah? So we will be going to Sheikh. Yes. We are getting Thursday in Medina. We have one Thursday, alhamdulillah, right? And Inayat Bhai will cover a little bit more about the donations we normally give to the Sheikh Al-Amri Mosque. He will cover that in his... So we will be going by bus, inshallah, and then come back to the hotel, yeah? Now, as far as guidelines for outside ziyarat are concerned, so we will announce the time for outside ziyarat, right? So you have to be ready, for example, at this point in time. Most likely, in the past, we used to go in the morning to minimize the heat, but it's very hot. So most likely, we will be going this time in the late afternoon or evening. So the idea is for all of you to be ready for outside ziyarat. And there are guidelines. That means, right? You have to be we have gone to the washroom, you have done your wudu, you are carrying a water bottle because it's very hot. And then we will take the groups. Now we are, as I mentioned at the beginning, around 230 plus people. That means there are 6 buses. So we need to make sure all of us understand the logistics. We are following the guidelines to move the groups from one place to the other as fast as possible. So once you have boarded the bus, make sure you are sitting on the same bus with the same partner. With me? So if you are in bus number 1, you are sitting with me, make sure we are together. Because when we finish the outside ziyarat from one place, say we finish Uhud, now we are going to Masjid Quba. Now if that person is now in bus number 6, then we have to wait, we have to account for everybody, then we are losing time. You with me? So similarly, if you break a law in the Hajj rituals, right, there is a penalty, there's kafara. You have heard about kafara? Yeah? So similarly, if you break a logistic rule, you have to pay kafara. That may be an ice cream for the whole group or Chinese dinner, because remember, there's no lunch. So there are lots of opportunities for you to break the rules, provided you pay for it, yeah? Okay, so the idea is to help the volunteers to make sure we are following the rules so we can move around. If you are caught shopping and then the whole 6 buses are waiting for you, that's a bigger kafar, that's a sheep, okay? All right, okay. Now, let's say, alhamdulillah, we finish the ziyarats in Medina. Our, ziyarat, inshallah, will be accepted. It's a very nice, relaxing, 4 or 5 days. Once you have traveled from far and wide from Canada, US, and in the UK, Medina will be very nice, very peaceful. Just a little bit hot, but it's nice, okay? Now, let's say you are getting ready, okay, to now do the Umrah, right? So we wear the clothes of ihram at the hotel, as Akil mentioned, right? That means we will change ourselves, ladies in white dresses, men in the 2 pieces of cloth. No underwears allowed, just to again clarify that. Yeah? Then we'll proceed to Masjid al-Shajara, for example, right? Knee pads? Knee bands. Okay, knee bands. For medical reasons, knee bands are allowed. Yeah? Okay. Right. Okay. So what will happen is we will announce the departure time to Makkah. Right. We need the suitcases done, ready, all packed and sealed. Okay. At an appropriate time. We will tell you, working with the logistics on the ground, that we need the bags ready by what time. So you need to make sure you help us bring down the bags in the lobby at a certain time. We will announce that. Okay. And then, of course, they are, very specific. Most of you have heard about Shibli. He was a companion of the fourth Imam, and we can share this, which is on the website already. Is like every ritual you do, there's a spiritual aspects to that, right? So please make sure that you look at that, inshallah. So we will announce the time of logistics. Say you have to ready in the lobby by 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Just follow the announcements, inshallah, and then we'll go to Masjid al-Shajara. You need to be in the groups, and then, inshallah, proceed to Makkah, okay? So Masjid al-Shajara, like any other mosque, is a huge mosque with so many exits and entrances. So we will exactly tell you, this is the bus number you're on, this is how the bus has parked in this area, so you need to go there, pray Maghrib Isha, come back to the same bus, right? And we will be all going and doing this in a group format, so chances of you getting lost are very slim. Unless you have an issue with directions, let us know, and we can have one volunteer accompany you all the way. So again, we minimize the time, because we have lost people, and if somebody is not on the bus can't leave. Remember, the passports are with that bus driver. You can't just travel on your own. This is a different trip from the normal ones we have gone, okay? So again, please stay with the group. It's a big mosque, and everybody is in white, so it's not easy to just spot somebody, yeah? And similarly, there's an area for men and there's an area for ladies on the bus, okay? Arrival in Makkah. So generally, we would leave Masjid al-Shajara after Maghrib Isha prayers. We will travel on the bus to go to Makkah. So if we leave Masjid al-Shajara by 8, you may reach Makkah around 2 a.m., 3 a.m., depending on the checkpoints we have to go through, depending on the traffic, entering Makkah, etc., right? So once we arrive in Makkah, okay, the volunteers will decide like what will happen. So once you arrive, generally the luggage will go by truck. So you only have your hand, like purse or knapsack with you, and then you go to your rooms and then settle down, and we will tell you where we will go as a group, smaller groups, to do the Umrah in the haram. Yes? The hotel in Makkah we have used is all our hotel, but say like a small 3-star hotel near the haram, 5 to 10 minute walk. But the elevators are only 2 elevators and a very small lobby. So it's going to be, you will see some chaos. But just be patient. Things will be okay. Your turn will come to take the elevators to your room. So just remain calm. That's the best thing. If you can remain calm throughout the whole trip, take it easy. Just follow the group, follow the directions. All will be good. Yeah? So most likely what may happen is, remember, in Makkah, people go, it's a 24-hour mosque, number one. People go for namaz al-shab starting from 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. So when we arrive, the haram is packed with people who are doing some namaz, like layl and then fajr. So sometimes the organizers will decide that we will go to our hotel rooms, refresh, take some rest, have some very light breakfast, that means tea and a cupcake or something, then be ready in the lobby at 7 a.m. The reason we are using 7 a.m. as an example is the Fajr crowd, which has been in the haram from 2 a.m., 3 a.m., will now be going back to their hotels for breakfast and rest. So the haram is slightly empty around 7 a.m. before the Zohar crowd comes in around 11. So it's easier for us to do the tawaf and 2 rakat namaz, sa'i, and then taksir and going back to the hotel. Okay? So we'll work with you on the ground, inshallah. So the question is, what do we do in Makkah? You may have 3-4 days before we officially go for Arafat. Okay? So again, we highly recommend that you recite all your namaz in the haram. Right? Now I know afternoon namaz are a little bit of a challenge because it's extremely hot. There's quite a bit of walk, 5-10 minutes walk, but it's in the heat, right? But again, if you can try, the better. Generally, also in Makkah, you can't say, oh, I'm just 5 minutes away, so when I hear the azan, I'm going to walk from my hotel to the haram. There is no way you're going to make it inside the haram. To get a good spot in Makkah, in Masjidul Haram, you need to be there 1 to 1.5 hours ahead of time. Remember, some people in Makkah are not close to the haram. They are staying in Aziziyah. right? For them, it's a 1 hour walk or half an hour ride. So they come in at 11, for example, and they'll sit there until like 4 or 5 hours. So for us to get a good spot, you need to go ahead, inshallah, by at least 1.5 hours, okay? Again, similarly, you should have your haram bag with you. You should have a water bottle with you just in case your wudu breaks. You don't need to come out all the way. You can do your wudu very quickly with your water bottle, okay? There are lots of sunnat namaz and du'as you can do, inshallah, okay? And in Makkah, there are so many Hajj groups from different parts. You see a group from Pakistan or other UK groups. So generally, some of the groups organize lectures on the 3rd floor on the top, okay? And then, to the extent we are aware, we'll announce this in Makkah, and then you are free to attend those lectures as well from different groups, okay? Now, once we are in Makkah, once you have completed the Umrah, you have 3-4 days to take it easy completely, you are on your own. And in Makkah, you can go with your spouses. There is no restrictions. When the prayer times come, they may separate the men and the ladies, but in Makkah, it's a free, there is no restriction in terms of spouses, not going together. So for Hajj Tamattu, first of all, the group will provide you a knapsack. And the idea is that you should only carry your knapsack. Whatever you need, you should be able to fit in that knapsack, okay? Now, one big question which is important is sleeping bags, okay? So in the past, if you are talking to your family and friends who have gone to Hajj over the last maybe 5 years or 6 years ago, they used to carry a sleeping bag. Now, alhamdulillah, the facilities in Arafat have improved, at least based our discussion with the organizers. So they provide a very light, thin mattress, which is foldable. So the idea is that once we finish Arafat, okay, and have slept on that very thin mattress, we can roll up that mattress and take it with us to Muzdalifah. In Muzdalifah, there is nothing. There's purely just land. So you can roll out that thin mattress, you can sleep on it, and then you just leave that mattress in Muzdalifah. You don't have to carry it with you in Mina. In Mina, we have mattresses which are maybe 5 inches. That mattress is only 2 inches. So you don't need a sleeping bag in Mina. So the only place we really need a sleeping bag is Muzdalifah, but they are telling us that you can carry your mattress from Arafat to Muzdalifah and just sleep on it, okay? However, if you are really uncomfortable, you want to carry a sleeping bag, then that's your choice. It's very hot, so buy the lightest one possible, okay? And then, of course, what should be in that knapsack, which the group will provide you, is you need to have a set of ihram. So you will be wearing one set of ihram. Between 2 or 3 people, they can share one other set. Because if one piece becomes najis, you only have to replace that piece. You don't have to replace both. So this way, you don't have to carry it. Everybody doesn't have to carry another set of ihram. You can all share, okay? The traveling musalla has to be with you, okay? Because even in Arafat, we'll be using this traveling musalla as opposed to the sajdaga. Alhamdulillah, in Muzdalifah now, the lights are there, so torches are not generally required. If you want to carry and then share amongst in a group of 4 or 5 people, I think that's doable, okay? You can carry your dua books, okay? Some money for transportation, etc. And then once we are in Mina and once you have completed all the rituals, right, you can get back into your normal clothes. So you need one set of your clothes in there as well, okay? And small towel if you want to just take a shower, etc. But I think what we are saying here is, this is a place where we all have to be compactly packed. We can't carry suitcases. The transportation is via school bus. There's no room to keep heavy luggages because we are all responsible for our own luggage, okay? As Akil mentioned, Hajj is Arafat. So once we are in Makkah, the first step we'll do is we'll go to Arafat, okay? Space generally is tight. So generally it's like this musalla, that's where your place is. So you just lie down straight and that's normally the space we have because it's a tight space, okay? So we all would like for all of you to make sure that you are cognizant. You can't open your whole sleeping bag and take 3 or 4 spaces, okay? It will be very hot. We are consistently giving you that message to all of us need to drink lots of liquid, okay? Big question is bathrooms. So we do have Eastern and Western bathrooms. Alhamdulillah, the facilities keep improving year after year. But you can't say, I want to go to the bathroom and you go and then you are done. There's lineups to the bathroom. So there's a lineup of around 10 to 12, maybe 14 people before you get your turn. The reason, especially before Salat times. So if there is Zohar, say we arrived in Arafat, right, early in the morning, around 3 a.m. Next one is Salat, right, say around 4:30 or 5 a.m. The lineups to the washrooms will start. And then people trade the spots, $100 US if you want to move 3. I'm not kidding, things happen. People have to go urgently. They're willing to offer anything possible they have. So the bottom line, the message is, you don't have to wait until you have to go. And the other thing is, that doesn't mean you don't drink. You have to drink as much water as possible to keep you hydrated. And remember, whatever you drink will not eventually come out. It will be perspirated, right? So allow time for you to go to the washrooms. And please go in pairs, okay, both ladies and gents. Because for men, what we do is when we go to the washroom, I would give my top piece to the brother who's waiting next for me in the line. So then it's easier to manage najasat issues, okay? And then when he comes out, you carry his top piece as well. Alhamdulillah, okay? The wajib stay in Arafat is the wukuf is in the afternoon. So let's say we arrived at 3 a.m. in Arafat, okay? So we'll be there rested, we'll pray subuh namaz, you'll have time to rest again, we'll serve you breakfast, okay? And then we'll start waking you up around 11:30 noon time, so get ready for Salatul Zuhur, then we'll have the Wafat Majlis, we'll do the Amals. So the afternoon piece, let's say from 1 to like 5, is the most important time in Arafat. So don't try to stay up the whole night if you can't stay up in the afternoon the next day. Yeah? So manage your times accordingly, okay? And as Akil mentioned, this is the one place that the Imam is there, so feel the presence of him on that special day, okay? Muzdalifah, right? So Muzdalifah, we will go from Arafat to Muzdalifah in the evening. So once the day is over, around 5, 6, 7 p.m., depending on the logistics on the ground, we will go by bus to Muzdalifah. This is the place where there is no tent and there is no mattress. So we are going to go there, get the pebbles, okay, and then we'll gather the group together, and then the light mattress which we were talking about we'll carry from Arafat to Muzdalifah. We just put it down, you rest, you can have a nap, etc. And then inshallah we line up for wudu and washroom facilities early in the morning around 3:30 a.m. Again, the lineups are longest in Muzdalifah, okay? And then once we pray Fajr, then we'll go through the group to Mina and we'll talk the logistics out, okay? Again, as I mentioned, there are lots of spiritual aspects to every step we do, right? So for example, we pick the 70 pebbles, as Akil mentioned, right? It's not just picking the pebbles and hitting the shaitan. Shaitan is not in that wall. It may be within us. So we need to make a list of what kind of vices we have, which we will try our level best to overcome those during this trip, right? Okay? All right. So once we are done with Muzdalifah, that night, that sunrise, the ladies will go to Mina, right? We were talking about. Then the men will, at sunrise, will go to Mina. We'll leave our knapsacks, and the first thing we need to do is go refresh ourselves, and then we have to go and do the rami, which is hitting the shaitan. The first day we will be doing the main one. The next 2 days the others, right? So the walk to the Jamarat is very long, and it's going to be hot. Right? That's why you are getting messages through different social media that you need to walk a lot. Okay? It's very important that we walk. We need to make sure we are hydrated because of the hot, sunny weather. You need to go to the bathroom before we start walking. Okay? Because otherwise, there's only one place where there is washroom facilities on the way, and it's not as clean as our washrooms in the tent. So make sure that you take care of that, right? You have to go with the group. Mina is a huge place, and all the tents are similar. So it's going to be very difficult for you to find your way back, okay, if you are lost. And it's very hot. So if you get lost and it's hot, you can collapse, honestly, right? So let's try to be with the group and follow the volunteers, okay? All right. Okay, so everybody can see Masjidul Haram, right? The pink arrow there. So the first step we do is go all the way to Arafat, which is the furthest point from the Haram. Then we go to Muzdalifah, then we go to Mina, and then we are getting back close to the Haram. Right? Okay. So now this is important from a logistics perspective, so let's pay attention, yeah? So we are in Makkah, and we have to go all the way to Arafat, right? How many kilometers is it, roughly? Any idea? 20 kilometers. So we will get you there by school buses, okay? All right, now you are stationed in Arafat. The next step is to go to Muzdalifah. We will send you the slides, so you don't worry. Okay, we'll send you so you can take it, right? So that's around 9 kilometers, and we'll transport you by bus, inshallah, okay? Now you are stationed in Muzdalifah, okay? And you have to go to Mina. So that is the place, we have to walk. This is the time, remember, once we finish picking the pebbles in Muzdalifah, we'll rest the night. In the Fajr time, right, ladies will walk earlier in the night, men will walk in sunrise. We'll go to the tents. But that is a walk from Muzdalifah to Mina. It's a nice crisp walk, it's tar, not too dusty, but it's a walk. The buses are there, but there's no way you can wait for your turn for the bus. It's just logistically impossible, yeah? All right, so ladies will start walking early at night, men will walk in early morning, okay? There is no taxi and there's no bus. So we have to walk approximately 3.5 kilometers, yeah? I'll answer the question, yeah? So now you are in Mina, having just finished the rituals in Muzdalifah. So now we have to go and do the Jamarat, which is the stoning of the shaitan, first shaitan, okay? This is gonna be, for ladies, maybe early morning time. For gents, we are looking at around 8, 9, 10 a.m., that time frame, okay? So the walk is 1.5 hours one way, and it's approximately 3.5 kilometers, okay? And we have the sun there, so it's going to be very hot. All it means is you need to walk and you need to drink a lot. That's what the takeaway action items are, okay? And then you come back after hitting the stoning of the Jamarat is like a 10-minute process. You hit your 10 stones, 7 stones, within 3 minutes you are done. Now you just have to walk all the way back to the tents. And once you are back the first day, right, by 10 a.m., 11 a.m., then we have to just rest in the tents, both ladies and gents. For some of the gents, as Akil Bhai mentioned, we have to do the Qurbani. So some of the able-bodied men will go and just do the slaughtering, and then they'll come back to the tents. For us, all the seniors, etc., we can wait in the tent until we get a phone call that your Qurbani has been done. Then you can go and take shower and change the clothes of the haram, okay? So this is the 10th of Dhul Hijjah. This is normally the Eid day, okay? Again, to re-emphasize, there's no taxi and there's no bus. For people who are extremely tired from the journey so far, then we do niyabat. You need to give your stones to somebody who can do the niyabat for you. Okay, but we will do this, revisit this at that time, depending on how people's conditions are, and then we'll discuss with the scholars what are the requirements. But then, if somebody is very tired, then we do the niyabat. Okay. Now we are on the 11th Dhul Hijjah. So let me give you some time perspective. So by noon, by 1 p.m., right, on 10th of Dhul Hijjah, all our rituals are done. And in Mina, there is nothing else. What you need to do is rest. And there'll be there'll be some breakfast, there'll be lunch provided to you based on the ground crew, and you are just resting. So from, say, noon to 1 p.m., all the way until like 6:37 a.m., when we start walking again to the Jamaat, you are resting. So you have lots of time to just rest. There's nothing else. People talk. Sometimes we have a mushaira program. Sometimes there's a ladies' lecture or majlis. So we are in the tents. You are just resting, right? So now in 11th Dhul Hijjah in the morning. So normally we pray Fajr, and you will see a lot of groups now going to do the Jamarat. This day on 11th, you are hitting 3 small, big, and large Jamarat. Okay. Again. So we have a 1.5 hour walk, okay, 3.5 kilometers one way, then you come back to the tent, okay? There's no bus or there's no taxi. But that's the only thing. So once you leave your tent, let's say by 7 a.m., you'll be back in your tent by around 10:30, 11 approximately, and then again you are resting for the whole day so far, okay? And then you'll be provided with breakfast and lunch and dinner. So far, so good? Okay, so now this is the 11th day. We are back in the tent by 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Then you are resting all the way until midnight. So just after midnight, we are in Mina, correct? Now we have to walk to the bus for around 40 minutes or 1.2 kilometers. The bus will take us to Makkah. This is now after midnight, because one of the requirements is we are staying in Mina for you have to stay in the Mina for part of the night. So we do the half night, then we have finished the rituals in Mina, our obligations are over. So in midnight, right, we'll get the group together, we carry our knapsack. You can see this man is carrying his knapsack. This is what you carried from Makkah when you went to Arafat. That's the only knapsack you have. So you come back to the bus. The bus will take us to Makkah, inshallah, okay? So once we arrive in Makkah, it's approximately, if everything goes well, around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., depending on the traffic. And sometimes they won't allow the bus to drop us right at the doorstep of the hotel. So we may have to walk a little bit, maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes, depending where they allow the buses to go. Once you reach your hotel, it may be around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., right? You can drop your knapsack, go refresh yourself, do wudu, and you can go to the haram. If you go to the haram, okay, you can do your tawaf of Hajj, 2 rakat namaz, you can do the sa'i, you can take a little bit of a break, you can have a granola bar, and if time permits you before Fajr, you can also do your tawafun nisa and 2 rakat namaz. If you can manage this, then all your rituals are done except for the rami the next day, right? Now, there's no pressure, there's no rush. Even if you can do just a tawaf of Hajj, 2 rakat namaz, and sa'i, and then you may be tired, you can come back to the hotel, or if there's further time, you can recite the namaz there and come back to the hotel. The reason the group recommends this approach is because half of the crowd, our Sunni brothers and sisters, are still in Mina. So the rush in the haram is quite less. That's why we recommend, if you can manage to finish all, it would be nice. Because the next day and the day after, the haram is still very busy because our brothers will come and do tawaf. They also do, instead of tawaful nisa, they do tawaful wida. So the haram will always be busy. So that if you can get your tawaful nisa done in that window, it would be nice. But it also depends on when the bus drops you. If the bus drops you at 3 a.m., there's no way you can get it done because there's already a crowd there, and you can only do tawaf of Hajj, 2 rakat namaz, and sa'i at most. Then you can do tawaf nisa in the next day or the day after. Okay? Okay, so if you go back here, we are in Makkah now. We brought our knapsack. You guys went and did your tawaf, etc., right? Now we are in Makkah, and now the next day, this is the 12th of Zulhijjah, we have to do one more hitting of the Jamarat, all 3, the next day. So you are stationed in the hotel, we'll serve light breakfast, we'll ask all of us to gather around 9:30 in the lobby in the hotel, then we walk to the Jamarat. Now this time we are walking from Makkah to Mina. The Jamarat is in Mina. It's a reverse process. And then once we have hit the Jamarat, small, medium, and large, right, all 3, then we have to hang around near the big Jamarat because under technical rules, we can't leave Mina until it's Zohar time. So and the police will be chasing us to get away from there, but we kind of give around, we turn around, and we have to stay in that area because our exit to our hotel is near the big Jamarat. Once we hit the Zohar time, we don't have to pray Zohar there. We just have to walk away from there to the hotel. And then we go back to the Makkah, to our hotels, and it's approximately, total 9 kilometers, right? Another walk. Now, we walk through the tunnels, okay? So there's a little bit of shade, a little bit of, over sky, and then back in the tunnel. If everything logistically falls in place, right, we are back in the hotel by 2 p.m. So we leave the hotel in the morning at 9:30, we walk to the Jamarat, hit all the 3 Jamarats, wait an hour or so near the big Jamarat. As soon as Zohar time hits, we are finished and we walk back to the hotel. So we'll be done in the hotel by around 2 to 3 p.m. In the past, people who have tried to take taxi or bus, they'll show up at 9 p.m. because it's just a traffic jam. The taxi will not be able to move. The buses can't move. They are just jam-packed. And then you are stuck there. You may have to go to a washroom. You have to come out of the bus, etc. So we have tried this route for last 10 years, and it works, alhamdulillah. Okay? And again, for people who can't do the Jamarat the last day, they are extremely exhausted or tired, then we give niyaba to somebody who can do it on their behalf. Okay? So there's no taxi and buses. Okay, so let's quickly summarize this. Okay? We were in Makkah. We went all the way to Arafat by a bus. Yes? Then Arafat to Muzdalifah, we went by bus. Then we walked to Mina. Then Mina and Jamarat, we went back and forth. Okay, Jamarat, the last day we went from Mina by bus to Makkah with our knapsack. Then Makkah to Jamarat, we walked, and then we walked back to the Makkah. Okay? So far, so good? Yeah? Okay. So, let's talk about comfort level. Everybody's laughing. Okay, so we are 5-star, maybe 7-star in our homes, correct? Yeah? Then we go to Medina, Movenpick. It's not, I think it's a 4-star hotel, but this is 3. That's okay to keep your expectations low and then we can deliver more, right? Okay, then you go to Makkah, 2-star. Then we go to Arafat. At least there is tent over us. And alhamdulillah, over the last few years, we have been able to get AC, which is reasonably good. So we are in Arafat. And then in Muzdalifah, there is no tent and there is no mattress. So we are at the lowest of the low in terms of comfort level, right? Then you go to Mina, and believe me, when you go back to Mina, you will feel so good. At least you have a tent, you have a small mattress, and it looks like a 5-star arrangement. It will lie. And then you go to Makkah, and it even gets better. And then you home sweet home, right? So, but the comfort level goes down, the blessings go up. So, right? So that's how normally we look at it. So general tips, and this is very important, right? You have to drink lots of water. There is no way you can say, I don't want to drink water because I don't want to go to the washroom. Because you know what will happen? We'll have to put IV because you're going to be dehydrated. So let's not get there. Just drink lots and lots of water, right? We mentioned this, always go to the washroom before, before the bus starts. Otherwise, people say, bus is now ready, and they say, oh, I want to go to the washroom. There's a penalty for that, so just remember that, yeah? Okay, there is no competition in the Hajj trip. You will hear your friend come and say to you in your room, oh, I was able to touch Hajar Aswad. And you will say, oh, wow, I didn't. We don't recommend our Hujjaj to touch Hajar Aswad during Hajj time because it's very difficult and you may get hit by an elbow and break your ribs. You know what that means? Your attention now to the rest of the rituals is really down. So you can attempt it later on once all your Hajj wajibats are done. Okay? So some people will say, oh, I was able to play 2 rakat namaz in Riyadul Jannah. And you will be feeling so low that you didn't get the chance. There's no competition. Remember, Allah looks at your intention and niyyat. Right? Some people will say, oh, you know what, I did so many tawaf for the 12th Imam and my marhumins, and you will say, I only done my wajib tawaf. That's okay too. Because you are giving the opportunity for somebody else to do the wajib. They just came from Medina. You are doing a sunnah, these people are just coming to do their Umrah tawaf. Right? There is absolutely no competition. The important thing is you are doing your rituals with full mindset, right? Your attention span is there, and you are communicating with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at any given point in time. So remember, 5 hours of sleep are very necessary. You can't overdo in Medina and then you are struggling in Makkah, right? So you may have to change your sleeping habits a little bit. So let's talk about it. So in Medina, early morning you wake up at 3 a.m. So you went to the haram, you came back, you did ziyarat of Baqi, you had breakfast, then you need to sleep until Zohar time. Right? You get in a good 3 hours sleep. Then you wake up, you do your namaz, then rest. But at night, if you want to wake up at 3 a.m., that means you can't sleep at 1:30. You can't just enjoy, socialize, go out, right? You have to pace yourself. If you get 5 hours straight, then your body is well rested to go with the rituals for the next day, right? Okay? Always try to be with somebody, even if you go out shopping, wherever, try to go in pairs. So, something happens, there's somebody else to look after you, right? We have situations, somebody walked out of the hotel themselves, just tripped. Now, nobody knows where this person is. When we'll ask you to wear the ID bag, so then somebody, emergency people have to call if somebody is with you all the time, then it makes your life a lot easier, right? That's why we are saying wear your identification badges all the time. And remember, patience is so good. Everything will go as planned, inshallah, but patience is very, very important, right? So final preparation, as these are just quick reminders. Do your to-do list. We all have so many things to take care of at work, at home, for the trip, so make sure you have a to-do list. Complete your will. I think a copy of Maulana Sayyid Muhammad Rizvi's will template should be on the website. Okay, Akil Bhai mentioned, try to pay your khums and other obligations. Visit the graveyard to ask for, hajat and pray for your marhumins. Ask for everyone for forgiveness. This is a spiritual trip. Yeah, we all want to make sure we are completely, forgiven by the people we are normally dealing with all day in, day out, and inshallah Allah will forgive us, so we come completely clean when we are back. Yeah. So let me give you top 10 tips, right? The first one is make sure you are always ready to help another Hajj. Okay, this looks out for the opportunity. Allah loves the one who shares. You may have a snack, you may have the prime spot in the haram in Medina or Makkah. If you give that away, Allah will reward you. Yeah, you may see an elderly person coming. Why don't you open that spot for him or her? Or squeeze. You may have a very big space, so please share. Allah loves the one who sacrifices. Okay, His horror and comfort for the sake of others. Always keep your cool. Delays will happen. Right? Shaitan is there working overtime to spoil your perfect record. Okay? Always go out of the hotel with a friend. Okay? Take enough rest, as we mentioned. Drink lots of water. Okay? You need pure liquid to keep you pure and healthy. Now, sometimes we get carried away to have a pop, etc. That's okay, but water is the best. Right? I know we got carried away, including myself. Right? But try to cut down the pops. It will be better. Right? Always, wash your hands before you eat. Now, in Medina and Makkah, we are praying, but people are walking over there, right, with barefoot. So I think when you come back, make sure you always wash your hands. Very simple technique, but it's very effective, okay? Practice walking. If you have not started, you need to walk, right? Prepare your speech spiritually to understand the philosophy behind the rituals, okay? Inshallah, you will come back a new person. If you understand why you are doing this, inshallah, it will give you quickly, okay? All right, so do not worry, right, about food. I mean, whatever Inayat buy or Shakil buy or Mustafa eat, we will eat. It's no big deal, right? You do your part. The volunteers collectively will do our part, and then Allah will do His part, and everything will be okay. Now, let me make one point here, right? So as I mentioned, we have a group of around 20 plus volunteers. Most of them have done Hajj for over 20 years. So 20 times 20 is 400. So the volunteers have seen every possible thing that could happen. Now, I know all of you are professionals and businessmen and women in your own right. But sometimes the logic doesn't work there on the ground. You follow the volunteers, they'll guide you accordingly to make sure that your Hajj is as smooth as possible, yeah? What happens if you get sick? So we do have doctors in the group. You carry your own prescription medicine. We carry quite a few other medicines, right? Things happen. We have had people who have suffered a heart attack. We take them to the hospital, and alhamdulillah, they get cured, right? So you do your part. We will do ours. There are good hospitals in Medina and Makkah as well, yeah? What happens if I or you die? We will bury you, whether it's in Medina or Makkah. There was a few years ago, there was a person who asked the question in the seminar, what happens if I die? We told him we will bury him, and we buried him in Medina. He died, right? Things happen. Wallahi, this is not a joke. This is reality. Yeah. So things happen. Okay. All right. Okay. Good. So final thought. We asked returning Hajjis from previous years, what would be one thing you would do differently if Allah gives you the opportunity to go for Hajj or Ziyarat again? Good question. Is it true? So what would we answer? So the answer was not more shopping in Medina or Makkah. More eating shawarma, McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, Baskin Robbins. All of these are there, by the way. That's why we kept Medina lunch free. Okay, more drinking, fresh juice, Starbucks is there, Dunkin' Donuts, more socializing. The answer was, I wish I could have spent a little bit more time in the haram in Medina and Makkah. Yeah? So I think that was it from my side. I just want to share one small story while Inayat Bhai comes here. So I mentioned that we had a situation where somebody asked a question and he died, and we buried him. There's another situation. This was a Hujjaj from the US in Texas. He was not feeling well in Medina. In Makkah, I'll try to keep it short. He was not feeling well in Makkah as well, and then we asked him to go to the hospital, checked it out. He had brain tumor in his head in Makkah. Okay? So remember, we all kept the cool. We asked the group to pray for him, and we kept praying. So the CT scan showed he had like brain tumor, and the idea was to now immediately move him back to the US. And we checked his bag. Alhamdulillah, he had insurance policy. So we called the insurance company. They said, we have a situation. They said, don't worry, we will cover the air ambulance cost from Jeddah to transport him all the way back to Texas. However, during these discussions, we also consulted his doctors and neurosurgeons in Texas, and the neurosurgeon said, looking at the CT scan, that if you put him in the air ambulance, you will not take him out alive in Texas. He will die. So that means he can't be flown. Then the next step was to see, okay, where can we get a neurosurgeon to operate him, right? They said the best neurosurgeon is in Riyadh. We are in Makkah. So we had some group members looking at logistics, how we can transport him from Riyadh from Makkah to Riyadh to have his operations done. And Riyadh said, we are so busy, we can't take him. So in the meantime, we kept praying. And luckily we found a neurosurgeon in Makkah to operate him. We flew his wife from Texas. She got the visa immediately, and the surgeon operated and took out almost 80-90% of his tumor. This person is still alive, living. But Allah wanted this person to be operated in Makkah. We could have flown him to Texas or Riyadh, doesn't matter. So the message is, we are all here as one group. We are going to help each other out. We are looking out for everyone to complete their Hajj. We're going to be one group and support each other. Yes? Good? Can we have a loud salawat, please?